Morning. I am Dr. Jacob Parachuga Nankwari, Senior Lecturer and Head of the Department of Horticulture and Crop Production of the University of Energy and Natural Resources. This is a project funded by DANIDA, known as the Healthy Insect Project, with the University of Energy and Natural Resources as the collaborative partner in West Africa, the Makerere University in Uganda, as well as the University of Nairobi and ISIPE serving as partners from East Africa. We also have the University of Copenhagen in Denmark serving as the European partner. In Ghana, we read the African palm larvae, Richon forest finesis. So I am bringing you here to see what we are doing as part of our mandate as partners for the Health Insect Project. So these beans you are seeing all over here have either the larval or adult stages of the African palm larva, which is traditionally known as akokono in the Akan language. So we use very simple agricultural products and sometimes agricultural waste to produce these nutritious edible insects. They have 19 out of the 21 essential amino acids, and they have superior protein and iron content that I will share with you at a different point in time. So if you come and take a look at this is a bin containing, these are two bins containing adults that we inoculated 3 weeks ago. And in just 21 days, you can see larvae. This is the setup. So this is the adult. These are the adults. These are the adult stages. They are dead now. And then these are the larvae. These are just 3 weeks old, and you can see them looking healthy, strong, and yummy. So these ones will lay eggs, and the eggs will hatch into young larvae. We have some larvae that are really small like this. Just trying to harvest larvae from just one bin for you to have a look at what you can produce in just 21 days per one bin. And these are not going to be of the same size because they are not of the same cohort, because the eggs were laid on different occasions, and the development, of course, will not be the same. So once these ones hatch and grow up to 21 to 28 days, they are often ready for the market. So harvesting a few of them. I don't want, some have started weaving cocoons, so I don't want to bother them so much. So you can have a look. If you see a bin like this, it has coconut husks and other, so you see larvae all over. You can see larvae everywhere. I was just harvesting a few of them, having a lot of water in it. So we have more of them here. So you can have more of them here. You can see them in the feed, looking so healthy and strong. And you can see a good number of them. You have more of those bins here, where they are hidden at the bottom. So they are often below. And if you are not gentle, you will kill them. So this is just, I'm still harvesting. I haven't finished harvesting from one bin. But you can see the quantities you are getting from just one bin, which is 21 days. In the wild, you cannot easily find this.
These are how many?
These are about 150, and that is usually a kilogram. Yeah, so you have a good number of these, and then so 150 to 180 will be a kilogram depending on the sizes. Because you see, if these ones are much smaller than these ones. Okay, so these are actually ready for the market. This is about the 8th insta stage, so it means these eggs were laid first, and you can see that this one is small. Okay, so distinguished ladies and gentlemen, worldwide about 2 billion people already consume insects as part of their daily diets. For Ghana, a nationwide survey was conducted where we identified about 9 major edible insects minus the bee. This range from the grasshopper to the palm larva to the dung beetle. We have the shade tree caterpillar, the locusts, among other, and then the termites, which is very popular. We'll try to do proximate analysis and realize that the rich on forest finishes, that is the akokono, has over 66% of protein as compared to 27 for beef, 27.4 for goats, and is far superior to even fish and chicken. Now, it contains 19 out of the 21 essential amino acids. Now, if you also look at ordinary cricket and beef, if you take 100 grams of beef and 100 grams of cricket, whereas the beef has 28 grams of protein, the insect has 21 grams of protein. Whereas the beef has 15% recommended daily allowance of iron, the insect has 96% RDA. And then whereas the beef has 14 milligrams of calcium, the insect has 88 milligrams. So somebody should tell me why we should not promote the consumption of edible insects. Then again, these insects do not emit greenhouse gases. Only a few groups of insects emit little greenhouse gases. If you compare these to conventional meats like beef, these produce 100 times less greenhouse gases. Okay, and then if you also look at the amount of vegetation you need, you need 15,000 liters to produce the same amount of protein as the palm larvae. You need little space. Look at this little space that I'm using, and I'm producing several kilos per week. You cannot get that from beef, and they have a high fecundity rate, a high reproductive rate. Within 21 to 28 days, you're already harvesting. These are just 22 days old, and look at how big they are. They are ready for the for market, and this is something you cannot easily get from any of the conventional sources of meat. Then when we also talk about the agricultural sector, Ghana imports majority of its meat products from the international market. Currently, we import more poultry than we can ever think of producing. Why? It's because the cost of production in Ghana is high, and it's high because of the feed. And the feed is also high because of the protein content, because we mainly get the protein for the poultry industry from fish meal and soybean meal. And to me, it does not make sense to use fish to feed fish when there are better alternatives. And the reason why they feed about 70% of the production cost of poultry is attributable to the feed. The Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources has the capacity, the technological know-how to produce protein at an affordable price for farmers. I think the government of Ghana needs to come on board and push for more innovations, push for the expansion of this to reach our farmers all over the country. We are in Doma, and I think this is the hub of poultry production in the Middle Belt, and to a larger extent in the country. So we can collaborate with these people, get them on board, train and empower them to produce the black soldier fly, Hematia illucens larvae, which will augment or replace fish meal in the diets of poultry, fish, and pigs. And I'm sure with that, we will be able to fully feed our people with the right amount of protein without necessarily importing protein. And that will go a long way in helping the economy, because we will no longer have to spend so much cedi to buy dollars and import meat products. Two, I will not say people do not consume insects. Currently, we are not meeting the demand. We produce and we are not able to meet the quantities that people are purchasing. I think because no inventory has been taken about the number of people who are eating insects. And that is why people think that the insects are not really. Because if I tell you the number of people who place orders and the class in society who place orders, you'll be shocked. That is why the prices have gone up to about 70 to 100 Ghana cedis per kilo. And why is it expensive? It's because we are not so many. Just a few people are producing, and a lot of people need it. So if you're able to empower a lot of people to be trained and produce this, in fact, the price will come down for everyone to be able to purchase. Yeah, so each bin has a minimum of 1 kilo. Some have 2 kilos, others have as high as 5 kilograms. And all this depends on the number of adults I have put in each bin. Some have just 3 pairs, others have 2 pairs. But if you have 5 pairs, then you are getting a lot of larvae, because each female adult can lay as much as 300 eggs. But the thing is, not all the eggs will hatch. And if they all hatch, not all of them will grow into adulthood, because if there is limited food, they may be cannibalism in the beans. So you need a simple rearing bin like this, which is relatively cheaper. Okay, this is a bin that you need, and then you need a wire mesh like this, and this is supposed to prevent predators and parasitoids. When I say predators, I mean wall jackals, lizards, rats, and parasitoids are insects that feed on other insects. And then you also need a rope and then a rubber band to hold it in place, and then you need a cloth like this just to cover as I'm doing, so that those insects which can actually penetrate the wire mesh holes will not be able to penetrate that. So you can see that other insects have come to lay their eggs on the cloth. We simply wash this periodically. So without this wire mesh, all these insect eggs would have been inside the bin, and that will contaminate our setup, and that is why we're doing this. Then we'll talk about the feed. The feed is simple. We use agricultural waste streams, and now you're asking me to reveal my trade secret. People will have to, mostly people pay to get the trade secret, and I think this is not a discussion I want to put in the public domain, but we traditionally or naturally they feed on the inner core of dead palm trees, which I refer to as the palm yolk. But we cannot continuously fell palm trees to produce this. So I have come out with innovative techniques, very simple agricultural waste streams that can be used. You saw the coconut husk, which is disposed and it's becoming an environmental nuisance. I am using it to produce palm larvae which are edible. So if people are interested and they get in touch with me or the University of Energy and Natural Resources, we'll be able to train them at a fee. They can contact us on 0246 776 156. This was actually a technology by Aspire Food Group and Anepari Farms, of which I am the CEO. And we are partnering with UNE and the Health Insect Project to ensure that we bring nutritious protein to the good people of Ghana.